Come back. Just checking if the streaming is live. Episode 4. Don't see it. I don't know why I can't. Yeah, don't know why I can't. Channels live. All right. Right, in the last episode, we went from controlling a single player object to making a hierarchy of our player controlling a proxy device. The reason why we do that is because one of the main mechanics of this game is where the player will control hundreds of different devices around the world to do its function within the world. So that's why we want from the get-go is to create that hierarchy of a player is just a player. It's a virtual entity in the game. It's not part of the physical world. It doesn't have any physics or whatever. It just connects to devices that are in the world and takes control of them. And the proxies, so the devices or machine or humans that it is controlling, will have different modules. And depending on which modules are on which proxy, that proxy can do different things. I mean, to make a quick example, like our starting proxy in terms of storyline is potentially, I mean, things could still change, would be like this small vacuum cleaner is the proxy. It's a proxy container, and within the proxy there's a few modules, and one of them is a locomotion module, because a Roomba can move around the world, so it has a locomotion module. If it wouldn't, like a laptop for example, because as the player you could take control of a laptop and to search data, to find new software, to update yourself, or to take control of the webcam, to look into the world or whatnot. Well, but a laptop doesn't have a locomotion module, so that will determine whether or not you can actually move around in the world with the object that you're controlling. So that hierarchy is now, well, I wouldn't say it's complete, but we have that set up. Maybe to quickly show here in our editor. So we have a player script, and currently the player doesn't do much except for when I need to kind of start distinguishing between player and player. So the player can be the human playing the game and the player inside the game. But when the player, uses their keyboard to press one of the keys that is involved in moving, the on move will be called, but it will not move the player. It will make a connection to the proxy that is currently controlling, and it will send that input to that proxy. So when we go to the proxy itself, the proxy has installed modules. It will just go over all of the children that are present on the proxy parent class or parent object, and it will install them. And that basically, currently that just means that they have a reference of each other, such that if I go to a module, I can see, well, what proxy am I installed on? And you can also find a certain module of a certain type. And then the modules itself is the things. We have a parent class that has all the things that any module would have, like a type, a name, a description, where it is installed on, and when it's being initialized, and it can set which proxy it is connected to. And then we have different types of proxy modules, which are, which implement, no, not implement, because I think implement is used for interfaces. It is a subclass of, it would be extends. I think if in Java you would use extends, like proxy module computer extends proxy module. It overrides some of the values here, so it's a module of type computer. It has the name computer, we can still change those things, and it allows the proxy to be controlled by a player. So if there's ever a proxy in the world, in the game world, that is missing or has a damaged or broken controller or a control that doesn't have power, well, that proxy still exists, it's still there, but you as an AI won't be able to control it, even if the locomotion is still fine, because you need some kind of relay. So that's the main idea of the computer module. And then we have a locomotion module, which will start moving with a given force when the input was relayed through the proxy to this module. And that's currently what we have. So let's quickly press play here, see what we're at, and then see what I want to achieve in this stream, which is attaching the player, so the AI, to the proxy that it is currently controlling, such that it's moving along with that, and then have the camera follow. And for that I'll go back to the tutorials that I have been following, because there I know they use something called Cinemachine, which is a very broadly used package to do that. So let's press play just to double check if there's no more errors here. Let's go. Okay, and we can move around. It's using forces and physics, so when I stop pressing it will stop, but not immediately, because we have to wait until friction stops the whole thing. The controller module is actually the badge that you can see here. This is us, so we're still not we're not really as the player. This is the sprite of the player, the AI neural network, and it's not really connected to our proxy. So that's maybe the first thing we'll do, that it always forms the location of the proxy that it's controlling. And then the camera is also not falling, so we could go out of the screen, and then, so those are the first two things we want to add. Yeah, so let's do it. Let's just, I think connecting the player to the controller should be an easy thing to do, especially if we just use Copilot to do it for us. So let's go to the player, controlling proxy. So basically I want a function that set player transform position to the transform of the computer proxy module. Let's see, public void set control input. The name of the function isn't really correct though. Transform position controlling proxy dot transform dot position. It's not completely correct. This is irrelevant. So we can say transform dot position, that's correct, it's controlling proxy, but I don't want it to take the position of the proxy itself, because then it would be like the center of the whole container. I want to insert it into its module, which means I need to call a function like, I think I made that function, get module, get proxy module, or find, let me check, let's just go check. Proxy module, no, sorry, proxy, get installed module by type. So let's copy that. Get install module by type, and then auto completes, so it finds the computer and its transforms and position, and it should send. And that's all it needs to do. But we also don't really need any variables here, and we should so set player position to proxy module computer position. You'll notice that I really like to use long function names, because I want to make sure that I don't want to add too many comments explaining the function if I choose a name that really very verbosely explains what it does. So it will set the player's position to the proxy module computer position, and that's what it is. That's exactly what it does. And we kind of need to call that on, yes, every update. Wonder if there's better ways to do this, but that's kind of what we need to do. And this should work. So let's go, let's see and test that. So now when we start the game, this thing should pop over here, and then when we move, it should just follow it. I think it should be that simple. So just notice how I used Copilot here, and it's exactly what it did. So that's really nice. So as you see, it popped over, and when we move around, it stays there. So that's nice. That's exactly what we want. I was just trying something. I was trying to go upwards, which you see it's a little bit possible because, however, because our locomotion power is very low. If I set it to 100, let's see, then I suddenly can fly. But we need to realize that we don't actually want to be able to fly with this thing. And that's something that we can add later. So our locomotion should be a certain type of locomotion module. Some of them can fly, some of them can only go left or right, etc. But that's not for now. So getting ahead of myself again. But that went really fast. So I just used comments to ask GitHub Copilot to kind of get me some kind of idea of what I need to do. I need to correct some stuff, but that's all it takes. We have this function and that's it. All right. The next thing I said was cameras. Right. But in order to do that, I need to go to the course. Let's see. Delivery driver. Is this the Cinemachine? Cinemachine follow camera. That's what I want to do. Let's put the volume on low here. Cinemachine. So Cinemachine is like a package that deals with all kinds of camera movements so that you don't have to worry about that too much. Since I guess the native camera is very limited in its capabilities. So that's why we can just install this package. Yeah. So package manager. So let's do that. Window, package manager. Make sure you put it to unit registry, otherwise you're just looking for packages that you've already installed. Cinemachine install. Currently in progress. Let's check if what the next steps are while that's installing. We need to create a component called Cinemachine. I think it's called virtual camera. Yes, that's true. Fine. Now we don't need to worry about any of this stuff for now because we've only got the one virtual camera. So basically the Cinemachine brain is saying, well, I guess we'll just do your one camera for you then. Let's speed it up a little bit. think I need to just follow player. Framing transformer. And this should already be working, I think. There you go. Amazing. That was fast. And there's like a little bit of like, it's not as rigid, so you can see the camera here. It's like always a bit lagging behind, and that makes it more enjoyable. I think we can also put some kind of offset on it. Oh yeah, I think here we can kind of do closer and screen X. What did he do that? Body. Yes, so especially here, because you could say like usually we're going to look at above rather than below. Yeah, that's good enough. Right, let's save the scene. I think that's all we need to do right now. Which means that I should already make a second commit here. Save the scene. It should register those changes, so we can do a commit feet. Let's just call it feet general. This general scope. So add player follows.
Laat een slecht gevoel zich niet nestelen. Spreek erover met een geconventioneerd.
That's why I didn't. Why I'm running this in another window, because I don't have ads on my personal account. Okay, let's say no copyright clothing lo-fi. I don't know. Wait, it didn't say that it was no copyright. Yeah, good enough. All right. Add follow. Add Cinemachine, follow cam, and player follows computer module. Commit. Right, good. So you already did the two things that I was planning to do. But actually, there's more stuff to be done. Oh yeah, I wanted to add some background art. So we done some coding. Let's go back to do some art just to make it look prettier when we're dealing. This is generally not a priority, but I just like to do it. Right. Sci-fi, cyber. Background image for a, I will call it clean room laboratory lab, which can be infinitely ditched horizontally. I don't know if it even takes that into account at all. And actually I will copy this prompt and also ask ChatGPT to say something. I will put the music a little bit more quiet because I can't even hear myself talk right now. Maybe that's a good thing though. Let's put it a bit on the down. I hope my voice is clear with the background music. Maybe I should be talking. Oh, Not doing a terrible job actually. Well, we'll see if it's actually stitchable. But in the meantime, where is... I want to give the same prompt. That's not stitchable. No. Oh, but I should have, sorry, I should put it on scene. So when you put it on scene, it creates this full-on scene, and this is, I will keep this because it still looks cool. Maybe like some kind of power reactor. So let's keep that art. But I wanted to make a scene, but before I do, let's copy the prompt. All right, and let's also give it to ChatGPT. See what it comes up with. Yeah, you see, this is a more complete image because it needs to be a full-on square. It doesn't have to have a certain shape. And then I want to do the same for the floor. So this is what Thingy came up with, but it has a little bit too much perspective for what I'm looking for. Can you redo it with a more orthographic perspective? Oh, this is what Illustrator did. I like the fuzziness of the art. Because again, honestly, at the start, you aren't actually that capable of seeing things. Things should still be fuzzy. Thing is though, it also still has quite a bit of perspective. So if we stitch that together, I don't know if it's actually that good. Oh, this might be better. Yeah, it's because I think... Yeah, it's super repetitive, of course, but that's not really the issue. So I think this is the best one. Get rid of this one, this one. How big should this be? We should go and get the Roomba here. Oh yeah, this is way too small. When the Roomba is on the floor, like when the Roomba will be crawling, I think this is a good size. Okay, so one downside here is now, because we're using the same styles, the Roomba is really not that obvious. Because it has such a... Can I change the entire palette here? Let's not worry about that now. Right. Now this should completely engulf it, so should not make it square or whatever. Let's call it lab. Well, let's call it background lab. And see, this is the thing. I could never make this. Like, this is not part of my skill set at all. And yet, when I'm trying to make a game, I can already have some artwork that looks cool, which will motivate me to work on it more. At least that's what I think is the case for me. So clear selection, export artwork. I think it should be readily available in the sprites. It is, but why is it so small? Oh, it's not. Okay, there it is. Cool. Right, so remembering from the tutorials, I know there's such a thing as sorting layers and other layers. Like sorting layers is really has to do with like rendering, like what layer is rendered in front of which one, while the normal layers are more like which layers are interacting with each other, regardless of the sort. So, but this definitely has to be sorted in the background. But let me quickly check, because is there like, we'll add a layer here. Ignore raycasts. Let's just call it background. And I don't think it will be relevant for the sorting layer, but we'll also add a new sorting layer. So we'll add a layer called background, actually. Okay, so let's think about a few layers here though, because you want to have those. I think if you look at the Planet of Lana, there's some parallax effects, which means you have at least, I think, 2 or 3 background layers. One is the furthest and one somewhere closer. Then you would have the layer where your player is, and then you might even have some foregrounds. So let's just call it background far. And I'm probably not going to use it right now, but let's just add a background mid, background close. And then let's add foreground close. Well, let's just keep it. And then we'll have we'll have the player, but I think there's going to be a layer here, and let's just call it behind player, in front of player. Let's just keep it really simple. And then you still have foregrounds. So okay, whatever. So this one needs to go into the background close. But now you see, it's because we didn't put this in the player sorting layer, which should be player. And I think now, right. But let's also make a folder here, world. Background lab is part of the world. The world is part of not everything in the world will be part of the background, so that's the thing. Yes, change children. But you can see that some of these children popped in the background, so these also all need to be player. Default, but it's sorting layer. Proxy. Okay, I think that's correct. Wait, can I put this at 0, 0, 0? Yes, please. Oh, put this on the Y0. Oh yeah, in the meantime, let's generate a floor. Background lowering. And this is not a scene, so we should make a subject again. Should we? Can also ask for patterns. I don't know what that means. No, that's also not really what we're looking for. Go back to subject. Let's just see what it does. Right, in the meantime. Oh. I think it's gonna make a single tile, which is also not really what I'm looking for. This is very 3D. Try to make it longer. Or I just go back to a scene and then cut a part of the scene. You could also just give it a simple color though. I'm thinking. Used in a side scroller game. I wonder if telling it that I want to use it in a video game will help it make something better than what I'm getting now, because again, there's way too much perspective. Or I can try to make a scene again and just specify that I really want to have a visual floor and then just cut it. But we'll see. Where did the floor go? I don't understand. Oh, I made it so gray that it's like invisible. Jeez, that's stupid. It looks cool, but that's not what I'm looking for. You know what? I think that maybe if I select all of that, I think right up until the glass part here. Oh. Actually, well, just frame it. This is now a perfect square. Maybe that's enough to make my floors. Floor lab. There you go. Export, clear selection, select this. There you go. Export. No, it said floor. Now it's being stretched. Okay, now I need to check because don't want to stretch it. I want to make it repetitive. So let's go to ChatGPT. I have a sprite for a piece of floor. I want to stretch that floor, but the pattern sprite should repeat rather than stretch. Tiling. Identify the tile sprite. Seamless tile. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, yeah, I'm using Unity. I didn't tell it. Import your floor sprite as a texture. How do I do that? I'm using Unity. Let's start with importing it as a texture. Assets. Import new asset. Assets. Sprites. Okay. Now what? Texture type and wrap mode. Set the texture type to default. Set the wrap mode to repeat. Wrap mode. Wrap mode. Repeat. Choose your floor sprite. I guess it's already right click in the asset folder, set create material. Material. Shader. Oh, material. Okay, there you go. Name your new floor. Okay, name it. Where do I name it? Oh, there. Lab floor material. Name your new material. Okay, it's in the inspector. Set the shader to unlit texture. Unlit texture. Unlit texture. There you go. I don't even know what I'm doing, but that's the whole point. That I don't need to know. Just follow, and I'll learn this way. Drag your texture onto the albedo. Albedo. Is that the thing? Is that what it's been? Okay. Create a plane for the floor in the hierarchy window. A 3D object. Oh no. A 2D game. I finished making the material. To the object. Tile map. Then what? Rectangular. Oh. A grid. Open the tile palette. Window to the tile. window. What did it ask? "2D tile palette." Maybe I'm getting into things that I should not be getting into right now. Okay. Let's start again. I'm making a 2D game in Unity. I want I'm wondering if I may be doing something that is not necessary. If I need to start making code, it's not worth it. I'll do that another time. That's the thing. I don't think it's worth it right now. Let's delete all that. Let's just use a piece of floor like this. Oh well. We'll deal with that later. Actually, sorry, I just go back here. Where's my piece of wall? I just want to make this like a very exact size, like 10 by 10 or something. Yes, because now I can use odd numbers. That's better. -10, 0. There you go. Put the piece of floor here. Get rid of some of these files. It's just taking up space. But this should be a little bit more clear. Can I give this a little bit more color? Or what I could also do is literally put like a a border on it. Just to put a bit more contrast. Should be 1,000 pixels, yes please. Oh, this shouldn't be linked, that's why. Does that make it a little bit clear where the floor is? A little bit. Yes. Making new artboards. Okay, so background lab. This is background floor. Now, let's make it a little bit taller. Put it in there. Now, fit to artwork. Same here. All right, now export both of them. Should look exactly the same, honestly, but the floor shouldn't. There you go. Then reset the collider. Should be 0 minus 5, no? Yeah, correct. The biggest issue right now is that the colors are matching way too much. So maybe I should say don't match my style. Can I select my previous? Yes, sci-fi background image. Wait, but I want cancel. Scene. Don't match. generate something new. I need a new color palette, because otherwise I would just never see my Roomba. Maybe it gives something better as well. Oh yeah, so let's make a, let's not call this world, let's rename this piece of world, whatever. And then we should make some prefabs. So prefabs, you can kind of drag these things in there and you can reuse them. Because now I can completely reuse it. Right, let's check the Roomba here. This is actually not that bad. I think I like. It's way more visible, is it? Yes, it is. What are some other options here? Ah, this looks cool, but it has the wrong perspective, so that's wrong. Can you tile this? I don't think it looks as good as the previous one, but it makes my Roomba stand out way more. This is much cooler though, must say. But these are things to worry about later, because we're kind of spending way too much time here on the art. Okay, that's fine. I don't know what you were talking about, but make a piece of floor. Maybe I can with floor grating. I don't know. I just want it to be clear that something is a piece of floor. Maybe we'll get a new scene. Huh. That doesn't look too bad. Oh yeah, you have to be careful because the things take the size of very oh. One more time. Oh, I have to be careful because if I don't switch the window, then you're not seeing it properly, so that's not good. Question is this interesting as a piece of floor? That's basically the question. It's ugly though. You know what? Never mind. Forget about the floor. Get rid of this. Get rid of this and this. This 1000 pixels? Yes. I don't even want to put a sprite in there. So let's delete this. Add a collider. I guess a box collider is good enough. Oh shit! I should not have done that. Restore. Because I think you first have to make sure this is no longer prefab by unpacking. Yes. Let's copy this. Let's give it a Y of 10. No, sorry. X of 10. Let's give it a different sprite. The new one. I love the other background, but just for the sake of keeping things a bit more clean. Is there a white line here? It's just stitchability. 10. No, everything's 0. Come on. There you go. I mean, in the end, all we're doing here is making a stupid level, so. That's all we'll need for now. There you go. Y minus 5. Should put it on the floor. I mean, ideally the camera doesn't show below the floor. Or, well, yes. Let's make this bigger. Well, let's put a ceiling on there as well then. We should give it the color of that red here. Yes. Stitching is not so great though. There you go, that's better. All right, I think we can go with this. Is the Roomba size 111? Man, the other background looked so much better though. Honestly, tempted to still replace it anyway. It looks so much better. Sorry. Also, it looks so much better. I'm sorry, I just want to. Doesn't matter. No. So let's make a prefab of this background. Prefabs. Let's create a folder. World. Backgrounds. Go. It just looks way better. Then I'm gonna go back to my main camera. No, sorry, the virtual camera. Well, let's also make a folder for cameras. Put it on top. Yes, this makes more sense. Actually, this looks better if I just make it bigger. Minus 7.5. can apply. Five minus 40 and 5. All right, we have our little world here. Let's save the scene. Why do you keep complaining about it? All of these need to go into the world. Oops. Let's put the world on top. Let's just try running around here. There you go. I can fly a little bit if I keep applying torque, but otherwise I'll just fall down. See, I wonder if it will look better if the Roomba is like a little bit in the floor. Like this. You know what I mean? In that case, what I need to do is, I guess, copy this, put it a little lower, and the other one should not have any colliders. I think that should work. So rename, this is the actual floor. This is the ceiling. And this is like, you know what? That would be much easier if just added that piece to this background. Then I don't have to worry about that as much. Don't need this. Floor and ceiling, put it in the world. So just a bit of background. It looks terrible, but I think it's acceptable. There you go. Right, I'm happy with that. Just need to make the floor a little bit bigger. All right. Yes. We have a scene. We have a level. All right. How long have I been streaming? 1 hour now. We made some backgrounds. We didn't do much coding actually, except for having it follow the thing. So actually, some things I still want to add right now in terms of coding, but maybe let's save everything first as a commit, because I've added some scenes here, so changes. We could call it style because there's not really world. Add floor, background, and ceiling. And ceiling art. There you go. Let's think all of that. So I think in this episode, mostly, like I said, we've added the follow cam. We've made sure that our player, where is the player actually? The player is on the wrong level though. Sorting layer. It should be on the player's layer. There you go. That the player will lock onto the controller of the proxy that is controlling, and it will stay there. It will maintain the position on every update. We have a camera now that follows the Roomba around using Cinemachine, and we've added some artwork using Adobe Illustrator's generative AI to create a little bit of a scene or a level. And maybe I will stop the stream here, and in the next one I will continue with some coding. So I think there I want to add some more modules. I would think so. We want to implement a power system where your proxy has a battery and then power is consumed when you're idling just a little bit, but then when you're moving, so every module has a certain power consumption. And why is this important? Because you say, oh, it's just a detail. Well, no, like when you're out of power on any proxy, on every proxy that you have control over or where you're attached to, then the game is over, because you have no way of recovering from that. So it is kind of important that the power system is in place, because that's kind of the end of the game. And after that, but that's maybe for the next time, we have to start thinking about the game loop, which would be running around, dusting, cleaning up dust particles, putting it into maybe like an oven that then burns it into energy, and then that energy you can charge yourself from. And that will be the first kind of game loop where you, as your simple Roomba machine, that's your main task. Make sure all of the dust in the room is cleaned, and you can use that dust to generate power to charge yourself and keep going. And that will be kind of the start of the game. Like, it's like, okay, this is all you do, but now it's time to explore the wider world. So next time, maybe we should start with a power module, and maybe also implement the system where, because maybe I already want to add a few Roombas, different ones, and you can switch between the Roombas in the room, because if one is dead or one is charging, then you can switch between the Roombas. So switching between proxies and power consumption, that's maybe what we'll work on in the next stream. Right, thanks for watching.